Bottom of the fifth inning coming your way with a 2-0 Y'alls lead. The Florence Bats are way more productive than Joliet's. The Slammers have been held to 1 hit. The Y'alls not only have 5 hits, 2 of them have gone yard. Hank Zeisler and Justin Levy both knocking home runs. Thomas Jones leading off for Florence from the right side of the plate, followed by Levy. Then the top of the order and Ed Johnson. It's a righty-righty matchup with Jake Armstrong, who is still on the bump for Joliet. He pitched earlier over the weekend against the Y'alls. He settles in the middle of the rubber, winds into it, first pitch on the way. This is low and inside to Jones, who flied out to dead center his last time up. Armstrong went 6 innings against the Y'alls in the Saturday win for Joliet. He allowed 5 earned runs, 1-0. Swinger dribbler out to third. It hits Jones' front foot, and he hobbles his way over towards the Joliet dugout, kicking his back foot. Looked like he caught his left toe, one of the toes on his left foot, just missing his shin guard. He immediately slung his bat aside. Now he grabs it back from the bat boy.
Speaking of bat boys, Joe Shadler gave me an update on his run for Cooperstown, the Hall of Fame. Apparently, they just want a little bit more certification, but they're going to put his jersey and his helmet cap out there for coaching first base, so he will be in the Hall of Fame, just a matter of time.
How about that? The Y'alls and 300-game veteran Joe Shadler will be in the Hall of Fame. Bat boy for the Y'alls for the last 10 years. 1-1 to Jones. Watches the front door curve break over the plate for strike 2. And we had Joe on the broadcast back in May for his 300th game. He is really an interesting guy. So first of all, he makes team bracelets for the Y'alls. These plastic armbands. I think they're more rubber that I'm wearing right now. Almost everyone on the team has their own. He's an Air Force veteran of 20 years. Really, really strong spirit. 1-2. That bounces.
And he's trying to one-up it as well. He wants to coach first base in a game and then also coach third base at the same time. Not the same time, but in the same game.
I'd like to see him try at the same time. Would he just run back and forth? 2-2 from the windup. Swing and a grounder out to short. Fielding on the backhand is Fernandez. Long throw to first is high and offline. It escapes to the backstop. Jones stumbles down the foul line. He's down. Tag applied. And first base umpire Justin Pennick says he's safe. So that's a rough sequence for Thomas Jones. He fouls a pitch off his front toes on his left leg and then takes a tumble as the ground comes out from under him there after the error. He looks to be all right. He gets back up under his own power and walks on to first base. Jones is an interesting guy. It's a comical sequence for him. We're glad he's okay. But he is one of the better outfielders in the Frontier League. He and I were talking before one of the Washington games. Here comes Justin Levy, first pitch. Fastball at the knees for a strike. Levy hit the home run last time up. And Jones pointed out how many turf fields just are different in small ways. The Washington field, center field, is lower than the infield. There's a dip. 0-1. Fastball at the knees again. Strike 2. And he told me to go back behind home and tell him if I could sing his shoes from there. And I couldn't. He talked a lot about his recruiting visit to Vanderbilt before signing in the draft. That pitch swung on and belted into straightaway right field. Diving is MacArthur. He lets it go. It rolls to the wall. Jones rounds second. He torches third. Green light for Levy going for third as well. Relay to the infield, and there's no throw. Justin Levy comes up with an RBI triple, and it's 3-0 Y'alls. Justin Levy, after homering his first time up, gets the better of a diving Liam MacArthur for a 3-bagger, and he's halfway to the cycle with the 2 hardest means of getting there, notching in a couple RBIs in the process. That is an unearned run for Armstrong as Jones reached on an error. Top the order up with nobody out, and Ed Johnson, first pitch to the righty. He swings and chops it high to short. Fernandez charges, looks home, but decides on first. Throws in time. Levy scores, and it's 4-0 Florence. Johnson comes up with the RBI ground out. One away, bases empty here in the bottom of the 5th inning for Dalton Davis. Dalton can swing a heavy bat. We've talked about it a lot over the road trip, but our home fans have not heard this anecdote. First pitch on the way. Watches a breaking ball at the belt for strike one. So, in batting practice, before the last game at Joliet, Davis hits a ball so hard he dents the L screen. 0-1 falls for a strike, blown away. Bench coach Jason Stowers staggered under it, watching it fall over on him, and he just turns to Davis afterward and says, well, let's do that again. 0-2. That bounces. Rory, you ever have anyone dent an L screen on you?
Dent an L screen?
That's hard to do.
It's hard to do, but no doubt it probably happened at Emerson Baseball. I mean, we were dealing with some tough L screens there, and I think some just fell apart.
1-2. He swings and lifts it to deep center field. Ponder on his horse towards the fence. Near the batter's eye. He looks up. Could it go? Oh, yeah! Dalton Davis escapes to the largest part of the yard. And it's 5-0 Y'alls with a big 3-run inning. Jones reaches on an error, scores on Levy's triple. Johnson brings him home on the RBI ground out. And Dalton Davis, right as we're talking about how hard he can hit the ball, launches one. And here comes a mound visit for Joliet. That is pitching coach Tyler Martin making a long trot. And the Y'alls forced him out of his hidey hole in Joliet plenty of times. It's just that the Joliet offense enjoyed as many late performances as they could to come back in both Friday and Saturday's games for the win. But the Y'alls bats were not the problem. In fact, before the last game of that series, Chad Rhodes sat his offense down in the dugout and said, you guys are not the problem. You've amassed over 20 hits across 2 games. Look, the trade deadline is coming up in over a week, now under a week from where we are now. This is when you tell us how badly you want to be a part of this team and how badly you want to make the playoffs. Can you guys keep it up?
Doing a good job tonight.
They're doing a good job, yes. Martin breaks from the mound visit. Armstrong settles back in. Now, one thing to get used to when you head home to Florence is that you don't have open bullpens anymore. So now we have to strain our eyes to see who's warming up. But there is action in the Joliet bullpen. Brian Fuentes comes up on the right side. Closed off stance. Base is empty, 1 away. The pitch. He swings and cracks it down the third base side and foul. The Y'alls have mounted 3 home runs during this game. Now, there is some alarm because when the Y'alls last led Joliet 5-0, they let it go. 0-1. Bounces away. Brian Fuentes hit a grand slam on Saturday to make it 4-0. Hank Zeisler tripled behind him and scored on a Stephen Hrustich sac fly, and then the Y'alls blew it. 1-1. Highlight kick. Fired high and back door for a strike. 1-2 count. Fuentes is one bad swing away from tying the team lead for K's at 77. 1-2. He swings and misses in the dirt, skips away from Stangren. He throws on to first and gets him 2 away. Now there's a tie for first place in the strikeout department between Brian Fuentes and TJ Reeves. That brings up Hank Zeisler. Like Fuentes, he suffered through a long slump. Fuentes went 12 at-bats without a hit. Zeisler went 14, but he broke it today with a home run. First one of the game for the Y'alls. First pitch to the lefty. He watches one low and away. Ball 1. Hank settles in. Auburn bat draped over his back shoulder. 1-0 from the windup. He cuts and sends a line shot into center field. Pottinger moves over and lets it fall. Catches it on the hop. And Zeisler is aboard with his second hit of the game. The Y'alls offense just does not stop. 6 batters, 3 of them have reached by way of a hit. In this very inning, it's 5-0 Florence, 2 away in the bottom of the 5th, a 3-run frame. And here comes TJ Reeves. He and Justin Levy are puzzle pieces for the cycle. Levy has a home run and a triple. Reeves, a single and a double.
Levy's a big watch. I mean, he's got the hardest parts done.
Well, TJ's got the hardest parts ahead.
Yeah.
First pitch on the way to the righty. Sails high and outside. Ball 1. And you'll see tomorrow on the Florence Y'all's YouTube page, who sat down with TJ in episode 4 of Flow Talks. He says, every now and then, you just know you have to hit the ball, and you can manifest it. It'll just happen. 1-0. He swings and taps it down the third base side. On the hop, Nova has it, throws to second, almost dragged his fielder offline. But by the tiptoes, Valdez holds on for the third out. Y'alls add 3 on a Dalton Davis home run, a Justin Levy triple, and an Ed Johnson RBI ground out. 5-0 Y'alls. We move on to the 6th.